So this project Jeep Wrangler came to me in what I believe is the ideal configuration for a Jeep Wrangler. No top, half doors, they look exactly right. But the problem is it's just about November here in Michigan, and I've got other stuff that's going to need to come into the shop over the winter, which means this thing's going to have to spend some time outside, and it's going to have to do so on some days that are not ideal to have the top and the doors off. And while the interior in these things, and particularly the interior in this one, are designed to deal with some elements, and this one has certainly got its share of stories to tell, although it definitely looks worse than it is right now. We don't want it sitting outside getting full of snow. But I had previously commented that the nice thing about these things is the parts are plentiful, the parts are cheap. We'll find a top and some windows and stuff for it. Of course, I want a soft top. But we'll find that stuff probably cheap on Facebook Marketplace. And reality is I was a little wrong. The closest I found was a soft top for a used soft top with upper doors for $300. But of course, it was one of those where the guy lists it, but then doesn't answer you when you try to buy it. That fell through. Other than that, there's incomplete, there's broken, there's damaged, there's missing parts, there's just not a great. There goes Charlie. Find the mice in there, buddy.
Yeah.
It just wasn't really working out trying to find a soft top. Hard tops, of course, not what I want. Full doors, not what I want. But you just start searching for YJ Wrangler top, and you see what comes up. So here's what came up. A gray hard top from a 95. Guy's moving. I'll take $100 for it. Hard tops don't go for $100. Hard tops tend to go for like $350 to $600, depending on what it is, how nice it is, who's selling it, what direction the wind's blowing that day. Sorry if there's a lot of wind in the audio, because it's definitely blowing some direction here today. So I go out there for $100. I'm not going to be picky. Does it have all the glass? Will it screw to the Jeep? Awesome. It'll keep the snow out. We're out there talking, and he says, "Hey, do you have a use for full doors?" Well, the half doors I have are not compatible with a hard top because the uppers are different shapes, and I don't have uppers anyway. Yeah, I have a use for some full doors, but those tend to go for $350, $500 for a set anyway, so hope's not necessarily that high. He says, "I'll take another $100 for the upper or for the full doors." So here's the full doors. Are they pretty? No. Are they the right color? No. Do they have all the glass? Yes. Will they sit on the Jeep? Yes. Do I really care what they look like as long as they keep the weather out? No. So here's today's project. So this Jeep obviously had a soft top on it because it's got the soft top hardware screwed to it. So we've got to get these torque screws out all the way around the tub. We have these corner pieces that need to come out. These brackets for the tailgate bar, which are crushed and maybe salvageable, need to come out. So same thing on the passenger side. We'll get those unscrewed and removed, and we'll get the half doors popped off, and then this should be a pretty quick project to put it back together. All right, so we're going to start with the T40s here that hold this bracket onto the body, which of course dropped the hardware as soon as it came slightly loose. I'm sure I'll find it in there. And I believe these get reused when we put the hard top on as well. I wonder if this has ever been off this Jeep or if it's had a soft top on it its whole life, because the black paint sure is pretty underneath those things, which calling this pretty takes a lot. Make sure that doesn't fall. All right, so here's the question. What's it going to look like under this?
Yep.
Oh, look at that. Dusty and dirty, but shiny black paint.
Yep.
Been a while since we've seen anything shiny about this. And our next step is removing the doors. Always a fun thing with these Jeeps. Alright, now that I have the doors off, I think my next step is I'm going to have to remove this mirror so that the full door doesn't hit that. And these are Allen screws in here now, but sometimes you can get those with a Taurus. Well, let's see real quick if a T30 fits in there. That should work. Alright, we'll see what we need to do with those. I think for right now, we're just going to put the screws back in. I don't think there's mirrors on those full doors, so we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But for right now, all I really need is the ability to park this thing outside. So that's where the bar is set. Okay. Time to get the hardtop. So here's our finished product. Pretty, isn't it? I know it's not pretty, but it checks the boxes. Now we're trying to keep this cheap. $200 for 2 full doors and a hardtop. I have to say, I like the gray hardtop on the black Jeep. You usually see black on black, but the gray's kind of cool. It matches the Wrangler decals. It gives it a little contrast rather than the whole thing just being black. I know the red doors don't give it a beautiful contrast, but you know what they do is they keep the elements out, and that's exactly what we were going for here. So that is a wrap on that particular part of this project. It feels good to check a box. So we will be back soon with more Jeep content. Don't worry.